Alright, what is up, you guys? Continuing the SummerSlam review series, we have SummerSlam 2012. And this one for me is just a really good example of just an average SummerSlam. It's not bad, it's not great, it's decent. It's definitely watchable. You can sit through it, no problem. But there's really nothing special about this pay-per-view. So we had 7 matches here. And this was really branded as the perfect storm. And this was actually the 25th anniversary of SummerSlam. Which, yeah, it does kind of mention it. I know it was in the logo. You can see in the thumbnail it's there. So yeah, it's the 25th anniversary. So opening match, we had Chris Jericho versus Dolph Ziggler. 13 minutes. This was a pretty good rivalry going on at the time. I really liked it leading up to it. I know they were building it around like Raw 1000. They had a segment there for it. And, it would eventually end with Chris Jericho leaving the company for a while. So, very good rivalry and a very good way to start out the show. 2 great workers. Of course, you're going to have a good match out of them. And this actually ended with submission. And then we had Daniel Bryan versus Kane. This is where the average part comes into this. This is literally the epitome of what an average match would be. And that's not saying it's bad at all. I'm not, downing it at all. It's just, it's not really a match anyone really asked for. It's not really a match that anyone really wants to see. And I personally was not a big fan of the whole Kane-Daniel Bryan storyline, personally. But, hey. And then we had The Miz versus Rey Mysterio for the Intercontinental Championship. This went 9 minutes. And Rey Mysterio actually had the Batman get-up for The Dark Knight Rises that was coming out. It already came out in 2012. So, yeah, another really kind of decent match. Could have been a lot better, I feel like. You have 2 great workers once again, The Miz and Rey Mysterio. 2 of the best wrestlers that are currently wrestling still. So I felt like this was just kind of an type of match. I would expect a lot better from these 2. But then again, they only really had 9 minutes. And then we had Sheamus versus Alberto Del Rio for the World Heavyweight Championship. I'm not a fan of either of these guys, to be honest. I'll take Del Rio any day over Sheamus. But once again, just an average world title match. Nothing special. I think Sheamus had better matches in his championship run. He had some good ones with Big Show. So, he even had good ones with Daniel Bryan at Extreme Rules, the 2 out of 3 Falls match. So, yeah, this one just, I don't know. This was when the world title was really starting to go downhill even more than it already was. And that's not saying Sheamus destroyed the title. It's not saying anyone really destroyed the title. It's just, when you have a match that's a world title match halfway through the card, it says a lot about how you think of your prestige with your world title. So I think it's just kind of sad. But this was an okay match. It's not bad. There weren't any bad matches on the card, to be honest. And then we had, for the WWE Tag Team Championship, Kofi Kingston and R-Truth versus the Primetime Players. Average tag team match. This whole pay-per-view is literally just average. But nothing bad, but like I said, nothing great as well. So we had CM Punk, Big Show, and John Cena in a triple threat match for the WWE Championship. This only went 12 minutes and 34 seconds. Kind of short for a WWE title match. But, CM Punk was red hot at the time. He was, midway through his title reign. So, power to him. I think he really did a good job with his WWE title run. And, I feel like a lot of his matches gets overlooked. And this is an okay triple threat match. But this is one that a lot of people probably forget about that ever happened. And, this was, I don't know. This is just another one of those title matches that's just kind of meaningless if you look at it. Because why throw Big Show in there, you know? Because the year before we had John Cena and CM Punk. Decent SummerSlam main event. And here you have it again, but you throw in Big Show. So I kind of feel like that's just unnecessary. I feel like you just could have had a really strong singles opponent for CM Punk instead of just rehashing the John Cena storyline a little bit and then adding Big Show. And at the end of the night, wasn't really that great of a triple threat match anyway. And you had kind of a very strange finish to the match here. We had John Cena and CM Punk defeating the Big Show by submission. And then, of course, AJ Lee comes in and has to restart the match. And then CM Punk ends up winning anyway. But not by submission. So, you know, there's that. And then finally, we have your main event. Brock Lesnar with Paul Heyman versus Triple H in a no disqualification match. As you can see right there, this was dubbed as the Perfect Storm. And this was, you know, not too long after Brock Lesnar came back after WrestleMania. He lost to John Cena, which was just a bad move at Extreme Rules, but a really good match. And, you know, to be honest, this was probably the middle of their matches. I think it was better than WrestleMania 29, but not as good as Extreme Rules 2013, Steel Cage match. This is a good singles match. It really is. It went 18 minutes, I believe. Let's check. 18 minutes and 45 seconds. And going into this, I was like, Brock Lesnar absolutely has to win. There's no way you can have him lose. And luckily, he does win. He wins by submission. He does that little, I don't know the exact name, but the little kind of reversed arm bar, if you want to call it. And, you know, he does the gimmick where he breaks their arm. So, yeah, this was really kind of a trigger point in the rivalry. And, of course, it would be revisited for WrestleMania 29 in the retirement match. And, you know, Triple H would, of course, go over there. So, at least Brock Lesnar got his win here. Like, I feel like he needed this big win after coming back. And, you know, this was it, thankfully. You know, clean win against Triple H, and really kind of jump-started momentum here for Brock Lesnar in the future. So overall, I'm going to give this pay-per-view, I'm going to give this a C. It's not great. I wouldn't even say it's good, but it's not bad. It's just, everything here is kind of average. I think the best match was the main event, which isn't really saying much because the main event was, you know, decent. It was good, but it wasn't really exceedingly, you know, it did kind of exceed expectations. I'll be honest with that, but it's not like it, you know, blew everything else out of the water. It was just your decent one-on-one match for your main event. So let me know your thoughts down below, what you would give this as a rating. And for now, this has been the DVD Freak. Peace out.